kind. Thank you. Thank you so much that I have this opportunity to share
Abs
the Aterra brand to the public. So
yes,
thank you for reaching out. I do
yes.
find this is a really big opportunity, but an opportunity that came from grace, and a lot of faith behind it.
Excellent, absolutely. We love to speak about, to speak to female founders during this part of the show, and just to hear about the journey, to inspire someone else that's thinking, you know what, maybe I also have it in me to be a female founder. So yeah, I think if you could take us through, the reason for going ahead and establishing Aterra. Tell us about maybe, the thoughts behind the brand, the vision, and,
Absolutely.
what was going on and what kind of space were you in at the point
Yeah,
that you started?
absolutely. So firstly, I'll say that I am being a therapist myself for
Mm,
22 years.
wow.
I did a bit of market research. I based the brand very much around the fact that was on my battles being a therapist myself.
Mm,
How I felt working as a therapist and where therapists are acknowledged um, in a whole in the industry. So I created a space intentionally that the therapists or the staff that do work for Aterra
mm,
find it easier, but also find it in a space that they can reach their own personal capacity.
mm,
I'm very big on women empowerment, but I'm very big on growing the younger youth to their full potential, especially when they don't have opportunities to reach their potential because they don't have the means to. So a lot of my knowledge over the years and what I struggled with, I put into Aterra. So Aterra really is, I always tell clients that walk inside Aterra that it's the depth of my heart.
mm,
I'm passionate about what I do. Prior to opening up Aterra, I went through a really hard time in my personal capacity in
mm,
life. Um, but honestly, through just holding through a mustard seed of faith,
mm,
God allowed this opportunity. So it's only by the grace of God that I sit on the other side of the desk.
yeah.
I always say to my staff, I'm not the boss.
Mm-hmm.
God is the boss.
Mm, mm,
But to take you through general points of the overview of Aterra and what I'd like for clients that walk into the space to experience is that we create a sensory story-driven space that doesn't just only treat the body. It heals our mind and
mm,
our spirit and our soul. It's a journey, not just a treatment. Everything that I've done is very intentional, from the textures of our walls to the way the music shifts. When you walk through Aterra, I always say to my girls, it has to start from the very first step, that first connection. I live by a word called Meraki. And Meraki means that we put a piece of our heart in everything that we do. And therapy is a gift from God. It's a
sure.
therapy of the hands, it's a therapy of healing. We absorb a lot of negative or a lot of hurt and emotion, but our space to put out our purpose to put out there is to heal people that we do therapy on.
Mm,
Um, so the journey of the treatment, it changes with the music that shifts through the space. It's a very obvious journey that you find you go on. Our journey is designed to awaken all the senses of the body.
mm,
I found that in all the years of being a therapist, there I also found a market that wasn't touched on and wasn't reached out to. And being a Christian and being a faithful woman of God,
mm,
I found that there was, in a business perspective, there was a market for um, our Muslim culture being, I have a proper Moroccan hammam that I built in my space to bring women to come for that cleansing, but also for people to understand what the cleansing is about and how we can use that cleansing within our own way of life. It's a beautiful ritual. Um, the girls pride themselves in this. So I've got a traditional Moroccan hammam in my space. From the moment you walk in, you're guided into a space that's designed to help you pause. So I also have a setup where you have to pause. It's the way we start our therapy.
Mm,
We reset you and then we reconnect you. Um, I've got four elements of the spa that there's reasons behind these elements that speak not only to me, but will speak to somebody that understands the elements behind it. And that is our crystals and gems, our fynbos and charcoal. So that for me is a very deep one because we all go through a period of time where we get burnt and somehow we become alive through the grace. And fynbos is like that. It has to go through that burning phase
mm,
before it reaches that full potential. And that's where I felt my personal life had come incorporated into the business. Um, then we offer really nice in spa treatments, which is very different to the typical spa. So we do aesthetics, laser waxing, lash extensions, specialized body rituals, wraps. We do cupping that blends ancient practices with modern science. So a
mm,
different type of cupping, which comes from the more holistic side of therapy. Our massage rooms are created to feel sacred. I always say that behind the black door, so if you do ever come here or you go onto our socials, the black door, behind the black door, I feel like it's a space of like a temple
mm,
where
mm,
you just let go. You
mm,
really let go and absorb what's been given to you. Um, we do a lot of, I feel like it's a lot of energy exchange and empowerment. So we live, I said by the word Meraki, where my girls are trained to tell their clients that this is where I'm going to put a piece of my heart into the therapy that I'm going to give you. Every touch and every treatment is an exchange of energy. Whether it's even through a conversation, ours is profound to just therapy. Our team doesn't provide services. I mean, our team provides services that to hold that space. Aterra is also a platform for young women to rise, a place where female therapists and professionals are empowered
mm,
to step into their potential, gain confidence, and lead with purpose. Um, I think that's what women are placed on the earth for. We really are
mm,
unique, being a woman, being a mom, being a wife. Um, our younger generation, I would like um, I'd like to impact that generation in
mm,
more of a spiritual way that God has blessed us with everything that we need in life. But because life is so driven by technology and life's driven by socials, that we tend to forget that there's another part that drives our lives.
mm,
So I intentionally train the girls with this knowledge and with this purpose. And the girls that have formed our very good, strong Aterra team, they are amazing. When you walk in, you feel the energy of it. Um, yeah, and then one of the things that I do want to mention is that the insight of my own journey being a therapist, and all the research that I did, finding what works and doesn't work
mm,
for girls that are in the industry, and to cater not only for our clients, but to cater for my therapists, because without the team of therapists, there is no business.
yeah.
So my staff for me is really, really important. I look after them, but I encourage them because without them, we don't have anything. Without
Mm,
any company,
mm,
without your staff, it's your staff that needs the acknowledgement. It's the staff that's doing the therapy. Um, so that's something I'd like to put out there is that if there's anybody out there that really doesn't believe that they can reach a potential, I want them to say to them through my own purpose in life is that
mm,
I was that person.
mm,
I thought this is it. I'm going nowhere slowly. It's my 40th in a few days' time.
mm,
And all I can do is thank God that I've had the opportunity that I can embrace younger girls and embrace girls that are in therapy in the wrong
Mm,
way, to
mm,
know that there's another beautiful side to therapy that heals you,
mm,
and that you can be free to that healing.
mm,
It's not easy to be in our industry. It's a hard industry to be in. It's long hours. It's hard work. But I've created a space where they don't feel that. My girls love coming to work. And then this is just like I said, not a spa, it's a space of healing and peace. I find it a grounding space. People coming in wanting that massage or that manicure, and when they leave, they feel lighter, not only emotionally and mentally
mm,
and physically, but an inner peace when they leave, because true therapy does come through the true love of
mm,
therapy,
mm,
which is a gift from God. Um, I think I mentioned I went through a lot of interviews to find my team. They're
mm,
handpicked. And that's just because I want um it takes a special person to do therapy. It can't just be a job, it's got to be a love. And
mm,
we, some people out there don't realize they have that touch, they have that love, but maybe they can't afford to go in and do it. I'm wanting my vision to grow. So, it's about restoring balance and inspiring well-being.
mm.
That's very much what Aterra wants to achieve out there. Yeah,
What are
and
you?
that's Louisa.
Yeah, Louisa, I love it. It definitely is something that you started from your heart. It sounds so authentic that, you're creating the safe space for people, for the people that work for you, first of all, and your clients, a space where one goes in and comes out refreshed, feeling new, feeling, healed once again through the therapy that you provide. I love that so much. I'd love to hear about expansion. Are there any um, are there any plans for expansion or anything that you'd
Absolutely.
love to do? Perhaps go nationally, internationally. I don't know. What are your plans?
Absolutely. So I've started off my brand, which was quite interesting. I walked into the space. I sat in this building. It used to be the old Avis building on 123 Strand Street, of
Mm,
Waterkant, Cape Town. I walked into the building and I sat in the middle of the floor. My husband still looked at me and he thought, like, what are you doing? And I said to him, this is it. And I want a tree. And he thought I was crazy. And I said, oh, if I could have built this in the caves, I probably would have.
mm,
But there was something about the space that drew me to it. And what drew me
mm,
to the space was that in life, you see and you feel the outer world and stress. But when you come to the space of Aterra, you see it, but you don't feel it.
mm,
And that was why I chose the space. Talking about expansion, Aterra doesn't only do therapy and all our treatments of laser, body
mm,
shapes, wraps, the hammam. We've gone a step further. I've got a little health bar inside our spa. So instead of having a typical reception desk, I have put in a health bar so you can come down after therapy, be in a peaceful space, and enjoy something that is guilt-free, especially for the
mm,
ladies that are very conscious, but to the fact that most of our products is also um, organic, so
mm,
very much natural. We've got a few good brands that are on, like Curimus by Sculpture. We use Belabachi. So there's brands that obviously have lovely reputation, but as a therapist, I've worked with it, and it's been the brands that I've been able to sell and to recommend from a true heart, not just sell
mm,
it because it's a product, but sell it because it's result driven. Um, the other thing is we have a car wash in our building.
mm,
So you can come and have your car washed while you're doing therapy. And then my latest project, which will be open, hopefully, God willing, in the next 2 weeks, I've opened up a unisex hair salon in the
mm,
same building.
mm,
So it really is like a one-stop to beauty. So
Mm.
we are have expanded to opening the hair salon. There's a car wash, there's a coffee shop, it's a spa. And then I am reaching out right now. I am busy in the build up process of building a smaller Aterra, which will offer just smaller treatments to one of the hotels in Camps Bay.
Mm.
That's in the pipeline. And I have a very big vision of moving an Aterra, God willing, to Dubai.
Mm.
So when you speak of international, then yes, my vision is big, but like I said, I place the vision all by the grace of God,
Yeah.
and how this takes off, we walk in faith.
Yeah, definitely. I love that a lot. I love that, it's not going to stay in one place. It is moving. It's a work in progress. It's a working ecosystem in a sense.
Yeah.
What have been the joys? The things that you can highlight and that you have seen work when it comes to therapy. Maybe stories of women coming in and having a lot of pain, carrying a lot of pain with them, and then going through a treatment and coming out of that, just so grateful to have gone for it. Just to inspire some ladies out there that maybe are thinking, oh man, but how
Absolutely.
do I even spend the little bit that I have on this treatment? Like, just the importance of that, if you could highlight that.
Sure. I think one of the biggest joys for me is when I've been able to sponsor NGOs. I've been able to witness clients, a lot of clients coming out of therapy. And when they stand in the coffee shop and you kind of get into a conversation, they fill out a client card. And one of the questions on this client card is, how's your stress levels? How's your diet? These are all things that factor into what the person is feeling. And obviously, I teach my therapist, it's also what factors into how are you going to take this really stress bothered mommy, wife, or someone that's lost someone, or this painful lady. What are you going to do to creating a space where she feels like she's been healed? And most importantly, but what she has spent has been valued. Is that I've had a lot of ladies walk in, and when they get to the coffee shop, they say comments like, I feel really emotional. Or we'll have ladies that just start crying, um, and whenever that happens, I cannot tell you, but for me, I feel like my job is done. And I always say to the ladies and women that do come here, even men, believe it or not, we get men that get quite emotional because you realize there's a different side to therapy. Um, so that is rewarding, is that I feel the message and the journey is definitely slowly but surely coming to educating clients out there, what is therapy. uh, Going back to many years when I studied what therapy was to how therapy is today in our industry, I think it's gone off the wrong track. I think therapy needs to be pulled back to what is therapy. Um, so yeah, that for me, I think is what I want women to know is that when you come here, it's not only therapy, but you're getting educated. And through our touch and our healing and what I've taught the girls, you actually can't help getting that connection between somebody that is hurting or somebody that is really stressed or worried, going through a really hard time. I did say I went through a very, very hard time before starting my own project. And every week that the project was coming together, I kept saying, like, I couldn't stop thanking God. Um, so it inspired me more to making sure that when somebody leaves my premises or my business, what is their conversation outside of it? I don't want the conversation about it's such a beautiful place, it's glamour, it's everything, because that's all materialistic. what matters is what you leave with from inside. That to me, as the director and founder of Aterra, is what I want people to leave with, is what did you feel when you left Aterra? How did you feel when you walked in, and how did you feel when you left? I think that's important. And I think that's where I'm gaining real joy, is knowing that whether it's one or two or five or six, but touching one person's life and telling them it's okay. This is a safe space. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to let go, if you need more time, take your time. We don't rush therapy. And then what I have done in comparison to our market is that I have put in really good pricing, because I also have this need to say, why is it that our the ladies or the women or the men that are less fortunate can't come to a place like this? That's unfair to me. Life's about that joy and experience. So I do try to meet a pricing that will allow for that one day that you treat yourself, or that you realize how important it is to take that one day to look after you, to take care of you. However you do it, um, it would be an honor for me that it would be my place that you take that one day that you just give to yourself. And communication. Sometimes people tend to back off because they don't like to speak. They might be introverted. Our girls are trained very well on how they read their clients. So however they've read the client through their therapy, they kind of break that barrier that I find a lot of women hold up, especially women that are strong and have it all together. But for me, I call it a mask. So there's this mask that I find a lot of people walk with. But behind that mask is actually someone very broken, or somebody that's in need of love, care, guidance. Sometimes I have the most beautiful conversations with people in my spa from all different backgrounds, all different types of religion. Um, I've incorporated being a Christian myself, and being very spiritual. Elements of my spa, I've incorporated my faith and my acknowledgement towards God and Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit. But I don't put it out there in somebody's face, but we are taught to lead,
Yeah.
and set examples. And I think that's what I find joy is. I get absolute joy when I see a client walk out and they ask for a therapist by name, or they ask, gosh, who created the space? Um, that's where I find my joy. My joy is that I'm creating a space that, if anything, and wherever I am leading to or where I'm going, is that it's going with purpose, but by God's direction. Um, he will make it possible. If anything, God is my director.
Absolutely. I love that you say that, and that you are in the business of nurturing us, nurturing our minds, our bodies, and our souls. Now, what are some of the items or some of the treatments that you have in promotion, so that we can highlight those to anyone that's listening that would like to treat themselves? And then, how can one book an appointment? Where can they get you on social
Sure.
media?
Absolutely. I just need you to give me 5 minutes so I can grab our current promotions that we are running. You can, however, look at our social media on Instagram. So our Instagram page is Aterra, just the name, so Aterra, with a little stroke at CPT. That is our Instagram page, which we're very much working on right now. at the on Instagram, we'll see there's our highlights. So the price list is there. There's some reviews there. There's a lot of videos that show into the Moroccan hammam, which obviously is our signature treatment.
Mm.
Um, Currently we do have May specials. So we've got, and this was taken very much through our Mother's Day that I thought instead of doing, often people run just a Mother's Day special.
Yeah.
For me, um, honoring my own mother, she's my absolute world and my mentor through life.
Mm.
Um, I thought to myself, sometimes we grow up and our moms are our go-to people, but what about granny? Granny wouldn't we
Mm.
wouldn't have mom without granny.
Granny,
So
yeah.
I incorporated pulling our Mother's Day not only for Mother's Day, but for those that have taken on that responsibility without knowing that they needed to become a mom to
Sure.
somebody. Our
Mm.
grannies, the older.
Mm.
Yeah, I love old people. I love the smile on their face when you finish doing their feet and they're just like, oh, happy feet.
Mm.
So the May specials is we've got a Serenity for two. It's a gel pedicure with a 30-minute back, neck, and shoulder massage. And that's 1.5 for two people.
Mm.
Everything does really consist of two people. We've got a golden glow, which is also a gel combo. We have a really, really big manicure section and pedicure section. Literally, one of our floors is just for manicures and pedicures, which is very different in the spa industry. You normally would see it in your local salons.
Mm.
However, we do nails as well. So to all the ladies that want nails, there's definitely a space where you can have your nails. The prices are very much the same to what most salons are charging.
Mm.
I just have to mention that we use Biosculpture,
Mm.
which is one of the leading brands um, in internationally, actually.
Mm.
And then we've got a nurture and nourish. And this is for baby and mom. So a healing
Mm.
baby mama massage and a gel pedicure goes with this. And then we have a restore and a renew. I think this one speaks very much for itself. It's a 60-minute full body massage, and then once again our gel overlay. So I we do push this month. We are trying to push more to our manicure section,
Mm.
um, as it should be a little bit faster and paced than what it is right now. But I think it's because women normally, you think of a spa and you already know what to expect. So I didn't want spa on Aterra's name, but obviously for people to understand what is Aterra, I kind of business had to put out their wellness spa. But Aterra is offers everything more than just a spa. So laser treatments, there's specials on packages. So if you buy a package, you get a percentage off on our Kuma Shape body machine, which works on cellulite, lifting, contouring,
Mm.
very important, and lymph drainage, which a lot of women actually need instead of taking that water tablet the doctor tells you to keep taking. Lymph drainage, detox, taking away
Mm.
toxins out the skin. Um, and then we do our typical massages, quite a lot of massages on our price list. If you had to ask me what is my recommendation to a good massage for somebody that is carrying a lot on their shoulders,
Yeah.
I would say it's massage speaks for itself. And then we offer pedicures, the manicures, there's laser, the Kuma shape. There's body treatments. We do body rituals, which means that you get a body scrub and a body wrap, which is done in the room. We've got really beautiful showers. We offer a sauna. And then we have the hammam, which I really do want to touch on. A hammam is a beautiful treatment where we wash the body. After we've washed the body, we exfoliate the body. The body then gets put a wrap onto it, and then the girls wash it again. This takes place in a room that is steamed. So it's a room which is wet heat. You can get quite hot in there depending what you can cope with. You know, people that are foreign, like the foreigners, they tend to be able to handle more heat than our Capetonians. So it can be adjusted. And then you lay on a heated slab table. So it really is an experience. Inside this Moroccan treatment, we wash your hair, we condition your hair, we give you a full head massage. And then the ladies, if it's two ladies, if it's a lady and a man, if it's a couple, the ladies then receive a blow dry or a flat iron afterwards. So it really is a full combo, but the ritual is just, it's something you got to experience. Um, and then yeah, you after our packages on our hammams, whether it's just a single hammam or it's a couple's hammam. After that, you receive a from our house bar. We do chicory platters, we do cheese platters. Um, I just want to give an example. A cheese platter would normally go for about 450 to sometimes right up to 600 rand at your, I think mostly at the wine tasting. I don't drink
Wine
alcohol, so I
farms.
don't know much about alcohol. But I know we've gone for platters and they're really highly priced.
They
Our
are.
platters are 250 rand and it
Wow.
feeds two.
Mm,
Um, our chicory platters as well. So that our pricing and our menu, we are working very hard on social media right now.
mm.
Um, but that's
That's,
the offerings.
yeah.
And then there's a car wash. Our car washes are only 150 rand for a full car wash.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and obviously the pricing to our barber and our stylist, that's to be confirmed. But for now, you can find us on Instagram, you can find us on Facebook. We do have a WhatsApp line.
Mm.
I'm going to read the WhatsApp line to you.
Please do.
So I hope all the listeners that are out there, if they can write this number down, it is on our social medias, but just so that I can get it out while I'm on air, um, the number is 084 375 6014. And then to get hold of the spa, in terms of it's easier on email, there is two email addresses. So the first one is info@aterra.co.za. If you'd like to get in touch with me directly, sometimes people and listeners out there would love some collaboration or input, then it's just my name, which is Louisa. It's Louisa at aterra.co.za.
Excellent, Louisa. Thank you so much for your time and for, just being so clear in terms of delivering what it is that you offer at Aterra Wellness Spa. Thank you so much, for also representing, what you believe in, representing Jesus in the work that you do. That is so
Amen.
profound, and I think also inspires the next person to do the same in their business as well and
Absolutely.
not be ashamed of the gospel of Christ. So, thank you and blessings to your company, and may God
Thank
extend
you.
your
Amen.
presence and those international opportunities. May they open for you. We wish you nothing but
Praise
God's
God.
grace. You've been speaking about grace the whole time, and obviously that's been a pattern for you in your life. And we pray that more and more of that grace is evident in your life, and may God just carry you through the difficult times, the good times, and so on. And yeah, blessings to your staff as well. And may you
Thank
just continue to grow from glory to glory. And that is the end of our conversations. So, family of Cape Pulpit